Have you ever felt like you're just kind of dabbling with AI? You're using a tool here, another one there, but there's no real strategy behind it all? Well, today we're going to change that. We're going to talk about how to move beyond those random experiments and start building a really powerful personal AI system. Think of it as your own knowledge infrastructure that actually helps you get stuff done. So let's dive in. So let's start with a really simple question for you. Think about how you use AI right now. Is it just a bunch of separate, disconnected gadgets you poke at every now and then? Or do you actually have a coordinated system? A system where every part has a specific job and they all work together to help you think, create, and solve real problems. That difference, well, that's everything. And that's what we're unpacking today. So what does a system like this actually look like in the wild? For that, we're going to look at a fantastic real-world example from a researcher named Anwar Malik. Now, what's so cool about his story is that he didn't sit down to design some perfect AI workflow from the get-go. Nope, he built this thing out of sheer necessity, forging it piece by piece just to get through his master's program. And here's his setup. I love this framing. He thinks of it not as a list of apps, but as his personal work crew. Every member of the crew has a very specific job. You've got Perplexity, that's the specialist, the researcher doing all the academic heavy lifting. Then there's ChatGPT, the versatile talker who acts as a partner for thinking out loud. Claude, with its coding chops, is the building partner. And finally, Gemini, with its awesome multimodal skills, is the creative workhorse. So let's break that down even more. Look at this division of labor. Perplexity's job is to cast a really wide net. All the literature reviews, the market analysis. ChatGPT is for when you need to go deep, to really wrestle with a complicated idea until it finally clicks. Claude? Well, Claude is the bridge from the abstract to the concrete. It's for turning those ideas into actual testable code. And Gemini is there to handle all the visual stuff that brings the whole concept to life. And this is maybe the most important part of the whole story. This elegant system wasn't some grand blueprint he drew up on day one. It was literally forged in the fire of an applied AI master's program. It grew organically, one tool at a time, as a direct answer to real, practical problems. Like, okay, how do I actually test if I understand this concept? Or, oh man, how am I going to build a working prototype by tomorrow morning? Okay, so this whole case study, it's not just a cool story. It actually reveals a core principle for making AI work for you. And honestly, this is an idea that can totally shift how you think about using these tools from now on. This right here, this is the key insight. The goal is not to find the one single best AI that's supposed to do everything. No way. The real power comes from being a conductor, from orchestrating a whole team. It's about knowing the specific strengths of each tool and matching it to the specific kind of thinking or work you need to get done in that moment. You become the manager of your own AI crew. And that gives us a much better, much richer definition of what we mean by applied AI. It's not about some single fancy algorithm. It's about the practical, hands-on job of orchestrating all these different capabilities into one seamless workflow that gets you from a fuzzy idea to a finished product way faster and way better than before. Now, this all makes a ton of sense for one person, right? But it brings up a way bigger question. If this approach is so effective, why aren't all the small businesses, the cafes, the creative agencies, the local shops, building their own AI crews? Well, this is where we hit a massive wall, something called the Great Translation Gap. Just look at this slide. It perfectly captures the two completely different worlds of AI advice out there. On one side, you have all the stuff for big enterprise companies, which just assumes you have a giant budget and a whole IT department ready to go. And on the other side, you have the reality for almost every small business. Tight margins, no time to spare, and definitely no technical team on call. And here's the thing. The problem isn't that small business owners don't know AI exists. They see the hype. They're totally aware. The gap is the missing infrastructure. The practical, step-by-step guidance that helps them translate the big abstract possibility of AI into the concrete, day-to-day practice of using it in their actual business. Okay, so if the problem is a missing bridge, what could that bridge actually look like? Well, there's a fascinating proposal on the table, the idea of creating a Moneyball for AI, a whole new kind of organization focused only on practical, real-world application. Think of it like a super trusted consumer guide, but specifically for business technology. Something that just cuts through all the marketing hype, shows you what tools actually work for a business just like yours, and then gives you a clear step-by-step process to get it up and running without needing a computer science degree.
So this is what a Center for Applied AI would actually do. It wouldn't be some ivory tower just publishing research papers or pushing the latest tool. Its entire reason for being would be to provide the practical architecture for adoption. It would create tailored playbooks because it understands that the way a restaurant should use AI is totally different from how a retail shop or a marketing firm should.
So let's bring all of this back to the journey that every single one of us is on. The journey that takes us from just trying AI to making it a natural, essential part of how we actually get our work done.
This slide just boils it all down, doesn't it? There are really two stages of AI adoption. Most people, and honestly most businesses, are still stuck in step one. That's the one-off experiment, the "yeah, I used ChatGPT once" moment. The real goal is to get to step two, where these tools are so deeply woven into your process that you don't even think about it anymore. That's the leap from playing with a novelty to gaining a real, sustainable edge. So let's end on this thought. Think about your own work or your own business. You know the potential is there. You've probably messed around with some of these tools. So what's the real barrier that's stopping you from doing more? Is it time? Is it know-how? Is it just a mental block? Pinpointing that one thing, that's the very first step toward building your own AI work crew.